Hello, everyone. This is Boogalew
And this is Tugs the Seafaring Simian.
Admiral Tugs.
Yes, I was just promoted not too long ago.
That's right. Admiral Tugs, the Seafaring Simian, is here to join us on Vital Indie Media. Welcome. And we have an important issue to discuss today. It is regarding the Paramount Consent Decree. And that was a court ruling in 1948 that basically separated movie theaters from the movie studios that owned them at the time.
Absolutely. And because the thing is that movie studios used to have a monopoly on theaters until 1948, when the books were thrown into being like, hey, you can't own all these theaters. You're basically, not only was it basically causing the theaters to lose money at the end of the day, but also it was preventing opportunities from other filmmakers to get their films seen.
But now, the Justice Department is considering and actually pushing for a removal of that decree. So let's go over what that ruling entails, okay? So, in short, what the Paramount Consent Decree did in 1948 was it was forcing the studios to give up ownership of theaters across the country and making several common distribution practices illegal, including block booking, which is the bundling of multiple films into one theater license, circuit dealing, entering into one license that covered all theaters in a theater circuit, resale price maintenance, which is setting minimum prices on movie tickets, and granting overbroad clearances, which is the exclusive film licenses for specific geographic areas.
So basically, if one studio wanted to control an entire theater in terms of what films could be shown, they could basically do it. Now, I don't know about you people. I don't even know about you, Boogaloo. But I think that is just ducking terrible. And it's also going to be a business plan that will eventually fail.
Yeah, that's going to fail for a lot of theaters for sure, because a lot of theaters are going to have to struggle anyway. So
the theaters are already struggling now, and I'm not talking about independent theaters, but also the suburban boxes, the multiplexes, which are all basically glorified concession stands that occasionally show movies.
That's right. Yeah, you pay you pay for really expensive concessions, overpriced popcorn, and they give you a movie for free. You know.
You can also buy hot dogs and chicken wings and cheeseburgers there.
Yeah, it's stuff that'll basically make you think that.
You ever go to a ballpark, people? That's what going to the movies is all about now.
Yeah.
You give a standing ovation and cheer whenever Iron Man does something cool, kind of like whenever Rodriguez hits a home run.
Yeah, and the concessions kind of build you up for a possibility of colon cancer in the future. But that's another talk for another day. So here's what we're going to do with Vital Indie Media, because we want to be able to explain this to you in the most common terms available. So to explain how rescinding these rules might play out, we're going to do a little demonstration now.
All right.
Yep. Excuse me. Admiral Tugs, you're going to play a movie theater owner, okay? And I'm going to play a film studio distribution salesman.
Now, does the theater play porn?
They do not.
Oh, nuts! Well, actually, no nuts. Right, we'll go ahead and take it away, Boogaloo.
Okay.
Scenario 1. Block booking.
Oh, hey! I've got some movies for you to screen, and they're gonna be big hits.
Oh, I love money, yes! What you got there?
Okay.
Show me these before you die.
Oh, yeah. It's too much of the cigars, let me tell you. All right.
Let's see the movies.
All right, I'm gonna show you the movies.
Come on, show me the money.
Don't go crazy. All right.
Okay, all right. That's gonna be a good one. This is Inception.
Yeah, Inception.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, we can give you Inception.
Yes, I'll take it. Right. Happily.
All right. And next, let's see. Oh, yeah. Speed.
Vroom, vroom, vroom! I can't stop the goddamn bus! Don't take it!
Okay.
Don't take it!
All right. Terrifico. All right. Next, Mad Max Fury Road.
Vroom, 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 vroom! Wow, this is excitement galore! Put it in there!
You got it. All right.
That's a triple feature if I ever saw one.
Yep. And now, so I'm glad you're really happy about this.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's just one thing.
Okay.
All right. You got to play this movie for a month in order to be able to play the others.
What? The hottie and the naughty.
Yeah.
Pardon me, Mr. Salesman, but I just have a question for you.
Hmm?
Are you fucking crazy?
No.
That's a yes. No, yeah?
I'm a capitalist. All right. Well, yes, and I'm crazy. All right. I'm a capitalist and I'm crazy. All right. But you got to show the movie or you won't get the others to show.
I got a better idea.
Yeah.
How about I show you how far I can shove my fist up your ass, you scumbag?
You've got a contract.
Scenario number 2, blind block booking.
Ding. Okay, Mr. Tugs.
It's Admiral Tugs, you wreck, remember?
Admiral Tugs, I have a set block of movies for you.
Woo! Okay, let's see them. Well, can I see them?
I just showed them to you.
No, you didn't. I don't know what these movies are.
Not important. You just need to know they're gonna be big hits.
How can I tell if they're gonna be big hits if I don't know what the movies are, if I don't get to watch any of them?
Take my word for it, okay? They will be hits. Now you take this pen and you sign the goddamn license before I sink your theater.
You know, I can't wait for the day I can go play at the Apes all over your ass.
Ding.
Scenario 3, overboard clearances.
Hey there, Admiral Tugs. How's the movie theater at the Sudden Sunset Retirement Community in Florida?
We're barely getting by. No thanks to the movies you send us.
We send you the bestest movie.
Bullshit! You sent us Men in Black International. I didn't care about that movie. Then you sent us Rambo Last Blood. Stallone starts talking, and several of the residents had flashbacks of their last strokes.
The movie was uplifting.
Oh, finally! Oh, you want to talk uplifting? Why the hell did you give us A Dog's Journey? Which had dogs dying 4 times during the movie, and many other times a dog barely escapes death. You know how many residents came up to me and said, "Stop my medication, you insensitive asshole!"
We feel we know best what your audience wants and needs.
Think you might need some knots to the nuggets.
Oh, that reminds me. I had to send you the newest Rocky picture.
There's another one? Why don't you just fuck off?
Alright, so there you got 3 different scenarios of different things. Obviously, you know, we played them out for laughs, but basically those schemes are among the many schemes that could happen with theaters and between theaters and movie studios if the Paramount Consent Decrees are rescinded.
Now, if they are rescinded, I guess if you want to get into the positives, which is a big old question mark, I guess we could talk about the positives.
Yeah, one of the few positives is that if you have some companies that are large enough to buy theaters and be able to put their own works in there. Now, recently we had talked about the supposed controversy over Netflix showing movies in movie theaters for about 2 weeks.
No, that's
Movies
right.
like
Yes.
Roma and the current one, The Irishman, before going to Netflix. And some people in the Oscar community,
And the film
especially
community
like
at large, especially people like Steven Spielberg,
mhm,
were not in favor of it.
yeah, they weren't big fans of it. So if you had a movie company, I mean, they're well, entertainment company like Netflix or Amazon Prime buying theaters, there might be the chance that you may be able to get uh, a different line of movies being shown out to some of these movie theaters. And there may be chances for like small indie companies. So I'm thinking, I don't know if Criterion would ever be able to pick up enough theaters or enough money to be able to get
By
theaters.
extension, Giannis Films in that regard. Another one would be Facets.
Yeah, Facets Multimedia, which already exists, you know, but they have their own movie theater, but they're kind of an independent theater. But it's
Yeah.
kind of along the same lines. Facets has movies on their own label, and excuse me. Um, Others do too. Alamo Drafthouse, of course.
There's also Arclight Cinemas as well.
Yeah, but
Landmark.
But like you say, Tugs, this is a really big question mark because there's no guarantee those movies are going to succeed. The theaters are going to succeed, and there's a lot of upkeep for it. So you know, there's a lot of upkeep for having movie theaters, and nowadays, if you're going to start opening new movie theaters, I mean, there's some things you have to keep in mind. I mean, you have to keep in mind the staff that you're going to have, etc. So there's a lot of things to consider.
Another thing to take into consideration is that, with some exceptions like Roma and Irishman, whenever because they got released in theaters a little bit early before they were streamed to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Netflix would have ever owned theaters,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing is, there was a guarantee that there would be a movie that would come in the theater, and then some time later you would go and watch it at your home. Well, what's the incentive for many people to go and see this in the theater if they know it's going to be streaming anyway? Unless you delay the time that it's going to be coming to streaming service, basically. More than 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month.
Well, that goes into another factor of appreciating a movie in the format for which it was made.
Oh, for sure.
You know, in 35 millimeter, 70
But
millimeter.
I think this is now a good time to get into the negatives, because we're about done with the positives here.
Yeah, that's pretty much the positives. There are a lot of negatives, like we mentioned, strong arming theaters and forcing them to show a series of films from a studio's choosing, which we showed in our scenario. By attaching weak movies to blockbuster bookings, the sellings of blocks of films sight unseen to theaters, so you can tell them, hey, you're going to be releasing these movies. They have no chance to screen them ahead of time to see if they're any good, to see if there's something that would have it they could be able to deal with.
And at the same time, they're going to smother the release of independent films because they're going to be taking all the slots. So small distributors are highly discouraged from booking attempts.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The studios, get this, the studios can set their own admission rates.
So for the next Marvel movie, for instance, and that was what we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So for the next Marvel movie, they could charge whatever ticket price that they could possibly want. And if this goes through, all the Marvel fans have got to pay it.
Yep.
So the tickets are $50 for $50 a pop.
Yep. There you go. And you don't get to see it ahead of time unless you go to maybe an advanced screening.
And it won't even get reviewed ahead of time, so you won't know if it's going to be a good film or a good movie or a bad movie.
Yep. So, You know, how
Or a
much
good
do you,
theme park ride or a bad theme park ride.
that's right. So how much do you make an hour? You know,
I don't make
how many
$50
hours?
an hour. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
How many hours of work do you have to put in before you're able to afford going to a movie screening for a blockbuster movie that you have absolutely no idea whether it's going to be something you like or not.
So
So
you just mentioned right there that they're not even going to look into demographics of people who, say, for example, make less than $15 an hour. Are there any demographics they do look at?
uh 18 to 24 pretty much.
So no.
So pretty
So
much
they have
18
no
to
regard
24.
for geographics or viewing patterns or anything like that.
Pretty well, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I don't think that they do. Maybe somebody can really prove me wrong,
Well,
but
this sounds like a winning strategy.
yeah,
Hashtag sarcasm.
yeah, I know. And the last thing though, what we were trying to express in the last scenario is that the demographics, there's no insight given to the demographics of an area. So Disney's not going to care whether you're in a community that has maybe less than a 10% population that's 18 to 24. You know, if you have people, if you're in a community that's mostly older adults, you're going to throw movies at them that completely make no sense because they're already licensed to movie theaters that same theater might be a chain for.
Right.
You know? And it really doesn't make sense. And sometimes the demographics can change. The first thing I thought of is like college towns. So,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, college towns, they have people from 18 to 25, 26, but only part of the year. You know, then a lot of them go home, or a lot of them leave, go to abroad, or whatever, and you have the remaining community, and the remaining community might be of a different demographic. Well, what are you going to show in those 3 to 4 months when
You're
they're
probably
not there?
going to. The thing is, under normal circumstances, you're going to show movies that they're probably not going to get a chance to see otherwise. That's exactly what happened when I went to college.
Oh, really? Hmm.
I got to see movies like There Will Be Blood and The Pan's Labyrinth and Once. And I got to see a couple of Werner Herzog movies, new releases. This is back when I went to college. This is
Well,
around circa 2007, 2008, around that time. And Bruges was another one I saw too. But there's the thing, we had a college campus cinema that showed movies that we wouldn't have had a chance to see otherwise in the local multiplex.
yeah, which basically meant that they were able to make those choices.
Correct.
So
And people would go see them.
I don't know if there's any exceptions made for college campuses or college theaters and all. I certainly hope there would be, but given the state of entertainment right now,
It's not very certain, people.
it's not really very certain. So that's what we want to leave you off with, is that this decree should not be rescinded, and that the Justice Department shouldn't pursue it, because you should be able to see the movies that you want to see um, in the best format that you can. So,
Goddamn right, Boogaloo.
yep. So it's going to be even more important to support independent movies and independent distributors of those movies, and independent presentations of those movies, TV shows, music, etc. So be independent where you are.
Always do the right thing.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you, Admiral Tugs.
Thank you, Boogaloo.
Yep. And we shall see you soon here on Vital Indie Media. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.